What do you like about this office?
Well, I didn't want to be in a high-rise. I didn't want to be in a studio. And I wanted to be on the only street that feels like I'm in New York. This is a street you can walk around. This is a street that has 17 restaurants. You have a doctor, you have a dentist, you have CVS. So it keeps all of our executives here. It feels like New York. I like the sound, I like the beautiful noise. And the trouble is, I'm renting. I've been trying to buy this for 20 years. So we bought a building 4 doors down, which we're renovating. And so we're going to move, I don't know, end of December or January.
So give me the story behind this.
Well, every painting or every graphic in the whole office is the art of making art. But this is a Salvador Dali, and you can see this is a stage of an opera, and they're all performing. And Billy Rose, when he had the Billy Rose Theater, had Salvador Dali do 7 paintings. And then the building burned down. And he went back to Salvador Dali and said, "Can you redo it?" And he said, "Sorry." And Billy Rose drove him crazy. He said, "Oh, I'll do 1." So he did this one. This is a 1780 Flemish painting. And the reason that I was attracted to it is they're trying to sell the painting, just like we're trying to sell television shows. So they're talking, if you look at it, they're talking to somebody out here and they're pitching, like BoJack Horseman. Everything we've looked at, except for Goofy over there, is about that.
Okay, what's that one?
That's Goofy.
I mean, what's the...
No, there isn't. That just was hanging around and somebody put it up there. This is Daniel, by the way.
What's your role here?
He does everything. He's a head of everything. I didn't tell the story about the bear. I didn't do it.
What's the story about the...
He and I, I'm going to make this very short. He and I were hiking in Colorado with my dog. And all of a sudden, I feel like a bee has gone up my leg and is stinging me in a place you don't want to be stung. And it's getting worse and worse and worse. And I finally realized that my dog bounced up and hit my pocket where I had beer spray and hit the thing. And he and I were together and I got hit. Nothing in the world compares to that. It was the most painful thing ever.
You knew immediately something happened.
Oh my God,
your reaction?
It was unbelievable. Then we had about a 20 minute to get back.
Yeah.
How long did it take for the burning to stop?
You jump into a shower quickly. Trust me. Anyway, he was in charge of getting me to the shower. So this is my son, Breck.
Hey.
Hey, Breck.
Oh, hey,
Graham.
guys. How are you? Nice to meet you.
Graham.
What's your kind of day-to-day here?
Well, my day-to-day is mostly film and TV directing, which is
He's
a lot of
director.
these posters around. It's nice to be. I've had an office on my own for majority of my career, and now
I
being in
forced
LA,
them all to come here.
he's like, "I'll give you a free office instead of the office you usually rent." I'm like, "Okay."
So what was that transition like for you to working in an office so close to your dad?
Yeah, it's a really interesting question, and as he'll tell you, I
He's taken
pushed
over.
back against it
He's
for a long
taken
time.
over.
For a long time, it was really, I wanted to do my own thing, which I
Right,
do, and
right.
I went to film school, and my name there was Breck Jones because he was the head of Disney at the time, and so my real name is Michael, but I go by Breck. So I spent my time doing movies and TV and traveling the world and doing commercials for 10 years, which I loved, and now I do that and also work with the family stuff. It's nice to be so close. It's right on this other side of this wall.
I was going to say,
Yeah.
what caused you to finally say, okay, I'm willing to...
That's a good question. 3 kids.
He finally decided it was not embarrassing to be my son.
Well, he was
Oh, come on.
well, no, it
while.
wasn't embarrassing. You weren't the head of Disney anymore, so you'd retired from that, so it wasn't quite the same persona. And I was secure with what I was doing in my own career, and I felt like comfortable coming here, and I really enjoy being part of all the kind of things that he's been creating all this time. It's been exciting.
Well, and most people would die to have the opportunity to work next to their father on
It's
a
amazing.
day-in, day-out
I'm not sure
basis.
that's true.
Oh, come on.
No, your father does his thing and you want to do your thing.
Well, there's a combo, right? Like,
but both can be
you can do both.
true or
we do
possible,
our
yeah.
thing, and if your father's like, hey, let's buy a football team in the UK, you're like, yeah, that's fun.
How about the most satisfying experience you guys ever had working together on a project?
I would say, I'm clear about that.
Me too.
Him being born.
Well, I didn't do anything on that. That was just
Well, yeah,
a
you
project.
did. You came out. So that was pretty exciting.
So when I was a kid, and he was at Paramount, and he said to me one day, you got to come to the lot. There's this movie we've made, and I promise you, you're going to love it. And I said, what's it called? He said, Raiders of the Lost Ark. I said, I don't want to see a religious movie. He said, no, I promise you, come to the movie. You're going to love it. So we went. So he brought me to the studio. It's a rough cut. And watched the movie, and it was the best movie I'd ever seen. Still to this day, is my favorite movie of all time. And the part I don't really remember, but I've been told later, is he was there, Lucas was there, and Spielberg was there. And he said, let me come over and introduce you to the director. And so I went over and met Steven, and apparently Steven said, so what'd you think? Dad said, tell him what you thought. And he goes, yeah, it was okay. Because I was shy and nervous, and I don't remember it, I never thought about it. And then I was directing a miniseries called Taken that Spielberg was producing. And we were all around the big table doing the pre-production meeting, and Steven was back in LA on the audio box. And we finished the whole production meeting. He goes, hold on, Breck, you're still there, right? I said, yeah. He's like, I want to tell everybody in the room a story. And he told that story about watching Raiders, and I was there, and this kid comes up, and his dad says, what do you think of the movie? And you said, yeah, it's okay.
You want to head to
Sure.
Yeah,
Let's
let's
go.
go. Let's go. So this is the coffee shop, which you can see. You have to have retail by code. So we did a little teeny coffee shop.
This is the main entrance, Dad. This is where visitors would come in. This is security here and waiting area, which connects to the coffee shop. So we want people to hear that you can open up the wall there and you can go into the coffee shop. This is where assistants are, and this is his office here. And this space before was all a bikini shop.
So we're trying to make it look like a pleasant place.
Oh, I mean, that is already so evident. I mean, it's going to be stunning.
I think so. And then this.
It's
And
a
you'll have
classic California architecture from the 20s on a busy street, which is nice. This is like this courtyard.
And a much different vibe than the current office.
For sure, yeah. I mean, I think more akin to his tastes. Part of the idea was to bring all, right now everyone's separated and disparate, all the employees in the television department, and this brings everybody together in a much more contained way and more interaction between people. I mean, it's funny, the idea of an office changed, I think, after COVID. The idea of going to an office and sitting in a cubicle, and people don't want to do that anymore. So we're trying to come up with a way where everyone, we want everyone in the office, and the coffee shop is an amenity and a nice space to be together in, and intersections of people really helps the creative flow, especially in filmmaking and television.
Did you guys have any debates when figuring all this out?
I abdicated to him.
And still debate, yes.
Of
Of course. He
Okay,
never
give me an
never
example.
fully abdicates. Come on.